Hello, friends. How you doing? Doug Dynasty here, and today's my first video blog, and I just wanted to thank a couple of people. I want to thank my sponsor, Lionel Castro, for discovering me. I also want to thank my mentors and my personal development coaches, uh, Victor Strauss, Dave and Dave, Kevin Trudeau, and countless others that I came along uh, reading about, studying, doing all the things when you're looking for positive intervention within yourself, actually. So today's topic is talking about the positive influences of the universe and you. What do you have to give back to the universe in terms of positivity, quote unquote? Right. Well, I want to start out with a story about myself, actually, because right now I'm uh, I'm living the life, I'm living the dream, man. I'm home, recording these videos, living ratchet. If you don't know what ratchet means, it just means don't care. I'll say it, do it, whatever. If I feel it, you know what I mean. I don't care who judges me, who says, who likes it, who doesn't. It really doesn't matter to me. It's just being honestly and true to myself and who I am as a being on this earth. So you have to you got to take in the energy and you got to use it. You can't just keep it stored inside because that's not of benefit to anyone, and it's not a benefit for you. So the universe will kind of kick you in the butt for that if you don't do it properly. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to talk about today, and I'm gonna start off with a point in my life where I I started reading these books and getting into you know the infopreneur type thing, type way, I guess. As a matter of fact, this is one of the books I've read within the past year. I bought it last year when I was in New York. It's called The One Minute Millionaire. And one of the authors is Robert G. Allen. This guy, he invented the term infopreneur. So yeah, and he's got this book, and it's awesome. It's awesome. I don't have no complaints about the book. Everything in the book is on point, and yeah. So well, during that point in my life, I was in New York. I had I was well, let's start off here. Um, I come from New York, and I was working for a company called Renaissance, and I had a lot of fun there. But my son was born. Me and my wife, we decided, okay, we're gonna move to Pennsylvania, because we wanted a better life, for the kids, nice house we can afford, and so happens that rent was pretty darn cheap, and so we migrated over here. Is that the word, migrated, or domesticated? No, well, I'll use migrated. Um, um, So we migrated over here and got a job with cable line company called Cable Line. I was a cable installer, and it's funny because I got the job because I ordered cable in my house, and then I was just talking to the guy, and he was like, "Well, come down to my company. We're subcontractors and stuff. You know, we make a lot of good money." And I was like, "Oh, really? Oh, cool." I just, I was interested in that because I like that. I like being outdoors. I get to see PA and just drive around and have fun while I'm doing work like I'm doing now. Yeah, it's an oxymoron, but hey, it is what it is. So, let's see. I started working for them for a while, and I was doing pretty good, making pretty good money. I wasn't getting paid an hour, like, but I was getting paid piece rate. They call it piece rate. Piece rate is like, well, let's say if I did an install, basic install, I got paid like $30 for the job. Let's say I did like cable and internet. That that was like maybe 100, 175 for the job maybe. Let's say I did triple play. Triple play was awesome because I could make, yeah, triple play bundle was about 150 plus if they didn't know how to do the network and they had like laptops and stuff like that. That was an extra $150. That was a $300 job. And then what I used to do was, since they didn't like, the fact that they had to pay an extra 150 just to hook it up, I'd be like, listen, I'll come back here and I'll hook it up for you for $75. So I'd make $75 in cash right there on the spot, and then, plus my check, which was $1.50. So I cut it off half price. You know what I mean? That was my little sales strategy. But yeah, I had fun there. Sometimes I wouldn't even charge that much. I'd be like, yeah, just give me $50. One time I even took a really good cigar from this guy, and he gave me a really cool lighter, and I just hooked him up. I was like, the hell with it. Here, it's a really nice cigar you got there. I never had one. So anyway, yeah, yeah. I had some fun there. But then, oh man, like the other guys, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but they they got some bad reviews, and wound up shutting the company down. Yep. So guess what? I was the last to come on board. First shootout ship. Bon voyage to me. So I stood, I was like, okay. They were like, well, we're just laying you off, but, as soon as this is straightened out, we're going to call our guys back. So just hold on. You'll be called back soon. I'm sure it's going to be no problem. And I was like, for real, you sure? They're like, yeah. And I was like, okay, all right, all right. I'll just go to the labor pool until then, labor pool. That's what we used to call it, labor pool. It's really labor ready, labor ready. And so, yeah, I was doing that, um, they didn't call. They didn't call. They didn't call. I called them. They said next month. They didn't call. They called me back. They said, hey, um, we're going out to Maryland. If you want to come out there, you can come. I was like, Maryland? Maryland, that's far. I'm just gonna keep on looking for a job out here. Oh, Then I got a part-time job with Advanced Auto. Advanced Auto, I was like doing like 25 hours a week. They'll pay me like $200 every 2 weeks, but hey, it was something, you know. It wasn't much. It was something. It was enough to pay for gas, that's for sure. Um, anyway, yeah, so I did that for a little while. Then wound up in a shelter. Yeah, into a homeless shelter. A family shelter, because the place we were at, I think it got something wrong with the piping, and then the water just went right through the ceiling. And the wood was rotted and stuff. And in the state of Pennsylvania, man, they come into your house and they see something that's not right, and they shut the whole house down. They'll shut it down and just tell you, well, you gotta find a place to stay, but you can't stay here. So basically, that's what happened to us. Then, oh, then we moved into two mm, little house on Crescent Street, really nice house, you know. And at that time, I was just telling my wife, I was like, I don't know about this, you know, because you know, I'm not making that much money right now. Um, it's gonna be tough on us on budget. And she was like, no, no, I really want to. Just tell them you have two jobs. Okay, okay. It's just like me, just to go along with it. But you know, really, you shouldn't ever do that, because that can be very, very harmful to you. And I'm living proof. So yeah, we lived there for a while, you know, and then I started doing little jobs here and there. I was actually I started to do some stuff with my supervisor from the cable. From the cable. It's funny because yeah, I didn't say the name of the company, right? Good, because I don't want to ever come back and haunt him and shit. But anyway, yeah, my supervisor at the time, he let's just say we used to get our hands on a undisclosed amount of like copper, and we used to go and we used to trade it in, and we used to get a lot of HDMI cables. You know those HDMI cables? Well, guess what? In GameStop, you buy them for $4 a piece. $4 a piece. And we used to get like maybe he used to get like hundreds of them, hundreds. So we couldn't take them all in one shot, but you know, we used to hit like 4 GameStops in the area, and we'd get paid about, we'd be able to sell about $100 worth of cables, sometimes 80. You know, we tried to take like 3 and 4 to a store. The most the store ever bought from us was like 10, 10, yep, like $40. And we used to hit like 2 and 3, 5 GameStop stores. And at the time, it was crazy because down in Colonial Park, they have like um, a GameStop on this side of that mall, and then like literally right across the street, they got another GameStop. So I was like, wow, this is a gold mine right here. We can hit that one, then we can hit that one. Then we'll go down to Union Deposit, which is probably like about 2 miles away, and we get a GameStop over there, and then another 2 miles down, we go to Paxton Street, and we got a GameStop over there too. So we was running that little game for a little while, for a hot minute, and it was pretty much helping out. Yeah, yeah, it helped me out tremendously. That was a blessing. That was a blessing. And during that time, anyway, I've always been into the intrigued by the internet marketing business, but didn't know how to go about it, or do it. Like I was thinking, this is all a scam. Like only the secret societies know about this stuff, and it's not meant for us, but yeah, it's public information. I mean, it's meant for everybody. You just gotta really, really do your homework. There are a lot of people are just so lazy, or they just don't know where to look, and that's my case. I just didn't know where to look. So, H2O. I get cotton mouth real easy. I hate getting cotton mouth because then I can't hardly talk. But yeah, this is my first video, and my upline, my mentors, and my coaches, they advised me to do a video every day. Every day, they said, hey, you know, um, and it's true. Like Bruce Lee, and once said that. Also, Kevin Trudeau also said it too. He said, you know, what was it? Okay. Bruce Lee said, I don't worry about the one who can kick 10,000 different ways. I do worry about the one that's practiced one kick 10,000 times. Something like that. Kevin Trudeau, he said, well, he said he was trying to go to this Shaolin monk or whatever, and Shaolin monk said to him, uh, uh, let me see you punch. Throw a punch. And he was like, well, I know how to throw a punch. I don't want to throw a punch. I want to learn some of that stellar stuff, that high powered stellar stuff. He was like, well, um, I won't show you that until you learn how to punch. Let me see your punch. And he was like, come on, man, I can punch. Anybody can punch. And he was like, he held the candle up, right? And the shaman monk goes to it, and he throws this punch, and the light from the candle just turned off. And he was like, how did you do that? I want to learn how to do that. And shaman monk was like, that's why I asked you to let me see your first punch. And then he got it. He said, well, you know, you know, it's not about how many styles you know. It's more about how many times you practice the one you know. So, getting to that, you know, this may be a sucky video for me right now, but um, I won't be an expert until I've made 10,000 videos. So that's my goal, to make 10,000 videos, and I'll be an expert. And I'll probably will change the way I talk, change the way I look on these things, you know, and I'll be good for gold. Hey, well, you know, yeah, I I wanted to shoot this video too regarding my blog because my blog is like title is hmm, what's the title? Anyway, it's about being a SNIOP. And what a SNIOP is, it's someone that's subject. That's the S, because it's an acronym, right? SNIOP is an acronym. An acronym, I learned that in the army. We all talk in acronym. A SNIOP is someone that's subjected, someone subjected, subjected to negative influence of people. Let me elaborate on that. Subject to negative influence of people. SNIOP. Let me elaborate on that, right? Um, you know, that's why I like I decided it's complicated, but I decided I will not tolerate any complainers. You know, complainers are the worst because what happens is you can literally destroy yourself. I mean, you could be, you could have so much, and just that little aura of negativity can just drag you through the hole like you never ever dreamed possible. And then you start blaming yourself, and you start blaming other things, and then you become one of the complainers, you know? So, and that's happened to me like way too many times. And I started becoming aware of this, because, at a certain point in time, you don't know what you don't know, but when you have a feeling and you start looking into these things and you do know, shame on you if you allow it to happen all the time, over and over again. Shame on you and shame on me. So it's more difficult than it sounds, but I in my case, I lost my job, and things are getting hard. Believe it or not, things are getting hard. Things are getting hard. The government check was getting lower, and wasn't making as much. Just making the rent money, and maybe half of the bill, and the rest I had to um, just give up my blood for it, basically. And then I found a way that I can make like it's $55 a week in donating plasma. Now, if you ever heard of plasma pheresis, it's like a process they freeze the plasma in your blood, so they're able to go there and donate and get your blood withdrawn. And the good thing about this is that they what they do is they take the plasma out your blood. It's like basically that extra protein you have in your bloodstream. They take that plasma and they make medicine with it. Yeah, they make medicine with it. And this medicine is used to treat cancer patients, people that go through like you know um, life-threatening surgeries and blood transfusions. And, there's a big list. Leukemia and a bunch of stuff, a bunch of stuff. So I'm able to do this like twice a week. So I do that, and it's helping me out. It's helping me out, you know, put gas in my car, whatever, go look for a job, buy my son diapers, buy my kids milk, stuff like that. It's helping me out a little bit. It's not much money. It's no money at all, actually, but it helps out. Right? So I do that, and it starts becoming my income, basically. Yeah, I just got like, you see that? That's the mark right there. Like you go to like anywhere else, they don't know about plasma. They think you're, using drugs. I don't use drugs though. Um, yeah, I don't use drugs. A lot of people think I do because I have this crazy eye syndrome. I just have these crazy eyes. And they say, you got these crazy eyes, man. You know, you don't use any drugs, you sure? like, dude, I'm a truck driver. You know what I mean? Can't use drugs. Get hair tested. And I got long hair, you see. I've been growing my hair because I said, well, if I can't get a job, I ain't gonna cut my hair until I made my first $100,000. So I was like, well, my hair is probably gonna go really long by that time. You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe I'll be cutting my hair soon. So if you see me with a haircut, mm, I must have made 50,000. Right? Yeah. I'm not gonna say a whole lot of money because then I have people looking for me. I don't want nobody looking for me. Yeah, for real. There's too much money out there to be looking for somebody for $100,000. So anyway, yeah. So this SNIOP thing, right? Um, I started going to church. Moved in this place. I had a little job. As a matter of fact, I had a job when they let me go from advanced auto, right? You know why they let me go? Because at the time I was staying in the shelter, and my wife had a problem with one of the directors, and they kicked her out. So they called me, and they had the nerve to tell me that I could stay there with my kids, but my wife can't stay there. I was like, what? Huh? That's impossible. No way. That's not happening. I was like, well, I'll be over there. So I told my boss, listen, I got a situation, I gotta leave. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna finish my hours, and I'm gonna leave. As soon as Joe gets in, which was the nighttime manager at the time, something like that. So I go home, and well, not home, but I go to the shelter, and it's like um, 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 yeah, my wife is, acting, right? And I talked to the director, and I was, trying to explain to her, what could we do? And they were like, nothing, nothing. You can't do nothing. She can't stay here. Blah 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 blah. I was like, listen. Okay. You made your point. You made your point. Um, okay, so where do I go from here? Okay, well, what happened was that I had about $200 saved, right? Because I saved my check from the week before. Because you're required to kind of like save some money. But I felt like I couldn't tell my wife this because she has a thing with money. She knows you got money. She wants you to spend it. You ever been through that? I don't know, but yeah, I kind of like be like, well, I'll put this away for a rainy day. So I said, okay. It was like I told her something to the terms of, oh, I'm gonna go borrow some money and rent a hotel for the night. So I went. I got the money out from the ATM, and we took a trip down to his hotel. And first, I had asked them, if they could hold my stuff there because I wasn't able to bring, get everything and stuff like that. So the director, she was cool about it, and she was like, "Yeah, we'll hold it," you know. And I was like, "Okay." So I went down and I mm, spoke to this guy named Rick. Yeah, I met him when it first happened. When it first happened, I stood there at the hotel with my family, and when the house got damaged with the water, I met this guy named Rick. He was a cool guy. He used to play with Grateful Dead and those rock bands and stuff like that. Leonard Skinner. Yeah, he used to jam with them. So he was like teaching me and my son how to play guitar and stuff like that, how to do like blues and jazz and stuff like that, and we was getting it, and we was like, yeah, this is fun, let's get some lessons. He gave us like a little picks, and we was just jamming on that electric guitar, but my son has the acoustic one. Um, yeah, but we had some fun there. I used to even practice in the shelter and stuff. They used to walk by the room and they'd be like, "You play?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I just practice here and there for fun. You know, it's just something to do when I'm alone." So yeah, and then stood there for a little while. Oh, he got me this deal where I was paying like 200. It was 250 because it was like $50 a night. Something cheap, $50 a night. But if you paid for the week in advance, you get 2 days free. So that'd be like Saturday and Sunday. You don't pay for that. So I'd be paying 250 for 5 days and get 2 days free. So I jumped on it, and I was like, well, oh, at the time, I was like, yeah, I got 250, I got 200. I need to get 50 more. So what happened was that, how did I do it? Oh, I had to, I had to get like, I gave him the 200. I was paying 50 a day. And then what I did was I went to Plasma and did that. That was $55. And then I went to Labor Ready too. And I made some more money. Oh, and then I got this job. Right, this job, right? Because when I went into the hotel, what happened was that I was supposed to be at work the next day, right? So I called my job the day before. I told them, what was going on with the being kicked out of the shelter, having to move all my stuff to storage. That was another thing. I had to pay for storage, and I did my best to try to find the cheapest place I could put it in because the um the guys, the owner of the hotel, didn't want all that stuff. We used to keep it outside, like in this, in the van. Like I would stack it up around the van, like put it on top of the van, making sure it was nice and it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyway, so I'm just laughing about it. But when I look back at it, I'm like, damn, we went through some hard shit, right? So so um, you know, and like all this time, my wife's always complaining and complaining and complaining. I mean, man, if there was nothing to complain about, she'd complain that there's nothing to complain about. So so anyway, yeah, so I was like, you know, we got we gotta make some moves. We gotta make some moves. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. I had the thing where I was doing the application with the lady that I was telling you about. She fell in love with this house, and I was like, it's kind of rough, and it's kind of expensive, money not really right, I want to go with one of those, low affordable housing, whatever. You pay like $300 a month. I can afford that, for like freaking 4 bedrooms or whatever. But yeah, so I was like, well, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to jump on that one. And so I was like, yeah, I got 2 jobs. I got my supervisor from the cable to be like, yeah, he works with us, blah, 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 blah. He makes money here and there, but sometimes we don't have that much work. But when he does, he gets paid good. So we use that, and then we use the well, I used my advanced auto job. Yeah, so then what happened was I lost the advanced auto, so I was like, oh man, I'm screwed. I ain't got no job. So I went to this that same day that I got fired. The same day I went to this agency right up the road as I was going back to the hotel. I went to this agency. It's like called Ronstadt Staffing and stuff. Ronstadt, and they're like, I looked on the laptop. I looked for employment agencies. Paid pretty good. It was like Ronstadt Staffing. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go there. They had this ad for a driver helper, and I was like, wow, man, this might be my break. I always want to be a truck driver. I want to be on the road. I want to make that money. I want to make some real good cheddar. You know what I'm saying? But so I go I go to Ronstadt, and they give me a drug test, urinalysis, and they give me this cotton swab thing where they put in your mouth. They put in the thing, they test for all types of shit. So I get the job right there. Bang. Can you stop? But it wasn't the driver helper job because that one was in New York. And the guy was like, how reliable is your car? And I told him the truth. I said, sometimes I have a problem with starting it, whatever. Because he saw me with a battery charger. He's like, oh, I see you out there trying to get your car. He's like, I don't know about that. I think you'd be better off working in Elizabethtown because it's a little bit closer. It's only about 20 miles, and it's a later start. So if you were to call and had a problem, I could send somebody to replace you. But the one in New York, it's at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we don't get into 8. And if you had a problem there, I can't call nobody to replace you because once he's out on the road, he's out on the road. So I was like, yeah, that's understandable. You know, I ain't got no BMW and stuff, but you know, I need a job. I need to be just over broke. You know what I mean? I can't be broke all the time. So he was like, yeah, I understand that. So he was like, I got this position over here in Elizabethtown if you want it, and you can start tomorrow. I was like, I'll take it. So I go and I take it. And I get there the next day, and I'm working in a bike, like tires with tires, like dirt bikes and motorcycles and big, big, like those big trucks that what do they call them? The big mud mud bongs or whatever. You know, they go into the mud, and you got these big wedges and stuff like that. Oh man, I used to carry those things. They used to get stick my skin and stuff like that. My skin used to get caught up in the tire. That would hurt like a son of a. So yeah, I had some fun there. I lost a lot of weight too because I was constantly sweating, throwing them tires and stuff like that. We had to empty out like maybe like 6 trailers a day, and it was like probably like 1,000 tires in the trailer and shit. So it was about like 6,000 tires a day. So yeah, it used to get ratchet up in there, ratchet. Wow, I used to be sweating bullets. Like when I would come out out of work, I was drenched. It looked like I was just standing up in the shower or something. I don't know. My clothes were wet. Like I used to wet my seats when I used to get in the van. It was cool, you know. It was work. Work was work. So yeah. So what happened was we got the house. Right? Yeah, we got the house, and then I worked for a little bit, and then they cut everybody off from the warehouse. It's like they ain't have they ain't need that many people no more, you know. So I got cut from the agency. This girl got cut. Everybody got cut. And nonstop. Didn't call nobody. So I was like, you know what? It's time to look for another job. Wow. I went for a job at this went for a job. The place was called Staff Mark. Went to Staff Mark. Check this out. Go for an interview. Go for the job. They give me that swab test, the drug test and stuff. I took a test, forklift test, passed everything. Guy said, how do you feel about starting work next week? He said this is this is gonna turn into a permanent position. This is not like a temp to hire or whatever. We get people, send them there, and it's people that they're gonna hire themselves. You know, we don't keep you. And I was like, oh, that's great. You know, so I was set. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go. I got the job. Got the job. Man, he called me. He said, well, you got a little bit of a problem. I was like, problem? What's that? You got a warrant out for your arrest. I was like, what? A warrant? What are you talking about? He was like, yeah, you got water. The only way we can fix your app is if you go in and fix that. Go to the courthouse and fix it. And then come back with paper that it was taken care of, and you get the job. I was like, okay. So I wound up going. I went, and I went with my wife to the courthouse. They it's like on a Thursday or something. Yeah, they locked me up. Basically, I spent like 4 days up in there. So yeah, it wasn't fun. But I tell you one thing, I think it had to happen because while I was in that jail cell, all I had was me from four walls, a cage, and that man in the Bible they call God. So yeah, I was reading the Bible and started understanding it. In those 4 days, I read the whole thing, and it's kind of like what I do now. I stay up, I stay on this laptop for 2 days straight. Like lately, like I just stay here, and because I'm so determined to um to make a change, you know, I guess it's what I'm used to. Like if I want something, I'm just not gonna stop. Not sleep, not rain, no thunder, not hunger is gonna stop me. I'm just gonna keep on going till I drop. And that's why I'm doing this because you know this right here is saving my life. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know if you could resonate with that, but the point of this is that I'm trying to reach out to people that are like-minded and maybe find themselves in situations that I'm talking about right here, and maybe they'll be able to open themselves up and not care about what people think, people say, because in the long run, they don't matter. They don't matter. The only one who matters is you, because without you, there is no world. The world doesn't exist without you. Can you understand that? I hope you can. I mean, all right. This is what I'm gonna tell you. What happened to me? Because I'm kind of veering off the story. I got a tendency of doing that, so I know, I'm talking, I'm talking like a mile and stuff. And you're probably like, well, get to the point. Get to the point already. A lot of people do that. My wife, especially, she's always doing that. But anyway, if you want to listen, you listen. But if you don't, you just you know what to do. You hit the X on the screen and bye bye. So I point of this is that I've been through a lot of things in the course of life, and you know, um, after that point that I was in jail, I got into like Christianity and stuff and God. I became spiritual, more or less, not so much religious, religious. Uh, became more spiritual, and I believe in Jesus Christ. I'm not sure if Jesus Christ was his name, but that's what the world calls him, Jesus Christ. But I know that being, that spiritual being, was here, and he's our savior. We have a savior. We have a savior. We have uh, an Alpha and Omega, you know, Father of the heavens. Yep. And you know, what you give out to the universe is what you get in return. So that's basically the law of attraction. Um, and yeah, this book. Um, if you're looking at this video, you're probably on a website, and I have a link to this book on Amazon. You can get this book for about $13 on Amazon. I paid like $16 for it because it was I bought it from Barnes and Nobles when I was in New York, and there's also other links there that you can get a lot of audios. You know, audios are very important. So that's why if you're watching this video and you like what I'm talking about, I'm gonna challenge you to something I have there called the 30-30 challenge. And if you've never done this type of stuff before, like with the law of attraction and positive energy, refocusing and stuff like that, you're gonna need to read positive materials like this, or maybe an ebook or something on the web if you don't have the money for a book. And, it doesn't matter. Um, you go and read positive materials, 30 minutes per day for 30 days, and also I want you to listen to videos or audios of positive people. And if you don't have any, I have a link right down here, right on the website, a link, and you can go there, sign up as an affiliate. Right? It's totally free. It's totally free. It costs you nothing. You can actually earn money if you're smart about it and you know how to do it. I personally haven't earned a dime because that's why I'm here. I'm just doing this. And I'm hopefully I'll be earning some type of money because I have no choice. I have to work at this day in and day out because this right here is my life. The, the job market is just getting harder and harder for me to get into because I've been out of work for so long. So they just like, dude, you gotta lie on your application or something because nobody's gonna hire you with being out of work for like 2 years and stuff. And all you got is this part-time temporary agency that literally when I go there, I work like 4 or 5 hours. And my check is like $20 a day. You know, that's not that's not that's not living. But it's something, you know what I mean? I mean, it's bus fare, it's lunch meat for me, actually. But I won't spend it on no bus fare, and I won't spend it on no damn lunch meat. You know what I do? I invest it. That's what I do. That's what brought me here. I took my last $25. Well, actually, I took my last $45. Took my last $45 and I put it right into the system. You know, yeah. I don't need food. I can go to. I got a ton of pantries around here. I mean, the bread is hard as shit, but I'll tell you, man, I'll make it happen. I'll make it work. I'll make it work. Yeah, that's what I do. I'll make it work. So right. I'm gonna leave this off by saying that basically not too long ago I was in ministry school. I went to church right after that jail situation. Started going back to church. Went to ministry school. Things got harder when I went there. It's like it was more of a challenge. It was like Satan was breathing hot fire on my back. You know what I mean? And every time I walked through those doors, though, it was like heaven. It was like the light was shining and everything was good. You know, I felt loved, I felt warm, I felt safe. You know, and I used to bring my kids there every Sunday. If I couldn't bring them there, and I was like, well, I would go by myself. Sometimes I needed to be alone with the Lord, you know. And I did that for quite some time. Then things started getting darker, and you know, that was the point where I was even in Gen already, you know, Global Information Network, and I was learning all this stuff about the law of attraction and all this, you know, positive thinking and stuff like that, and like, you know, when bad things happen, that, you know, don't blame the situation. Think of it as a great thing that's happening in your life because it's transforming wherever it's going. You don't know because you don't know what you don't know. But in the grand design of things, it's happening for a reason. There's a reason why you got into that car accident. You're still alive, but you didn't get to where you wanted to get to at that moment. But the reason was that maybe 2 or 3 days down the road, something significant is going to happen that's going to place you in the spot where you're supposed to be to receive that gift. You know, that's the way it works. So, but you have to be very, very careful. Why I say that? You know why? Because the SNIOP, the negative influences of other people, can subject you from missing that gift, that blessing which is ready for you. You may totally miss that. You know why? Because you have negative influences taking you away, pulling you further away from your destiny, from where you're supposed to be. And that can happen a lot. I mean, you can always come back. You know, I don't know if you get unlimited chances, but hey, you know, you really have to be careful with that. That's why, you know, when what happened was that my wife was complaining all the time. She would get so crazy with me. At one time, she used to get violent with me. She would punch, slap me, or, you know, yell at me, belittle me in front of my children. You know what I mean? Tell me things like my kids are gonna hate me one day. They're gonna, you know, my son, he's gonna grow up one day. He's not gonna have any respect for me. He's gonna slap me in my face, stuff like that. That would really hurt me. But you know what? Just because it hurt me didn't mean that I had to act upon it. You know, so I just brush it off. Okay, whatever you say. And I would tell her, I said, yeah, my son's gonna hate me, this and that, you know. And she would do it in front of the kids. She would yell at me and scream at me. I just didn't like, and I didn't know how to go about telling her that that was unacceptable behavior. And then one day, she threw me out. She threw me out of my house. Well, it wasn't my house. Who was staying in basement because we had gotten evicted from the other place because, you know, I didn't have a job at this time. I was backed up on rent, what it was, you know, and I couldn't find a job. I was working as a cab driver. My van broke down, so I didn't have no ride to get to work or nothing like that, you know. My van was just sitting there in my backyard, broken, electrical problem or whatever, you know. Um, I lost a real good job because of it. As a matter of fact, the day that the van broke down, they gave me a call and they promoted me. They were going to give me a promotion to crew leader. You know, I was going to get more money and stuff like that. But yeah, it didn't work out. So I struggled and I struggled and I struggled, and they we were staying in a hotel again. And I was going to church and stuff, and then I got this thing that I said, no, let me walk the streets of Harrisburg. Let me find out. Let me ask some questions, see what's going around town, see what the word is. You know, maybe I can find something. The hotel was charging $50 a day. I was like, man, we're running out of money. So went out there, and lo and behold, I found a basement that we were able to rent. Basement in a rooming house. I mean, it was a shot in the dark, but it was a rooming house, and you know, there was men there and stuff like that. But at least we had the basement, we had our own key, you know what I mean? And hey, sometimes, you know, the Lord puts you in situations where you have to humble yourself. You got to be like ready. You have to humble yourself and just take it as it is. So we went there, and basement was $550 a month. So paid the $550 a month. I had $450. But the guy that I spoke to, I knew him. I knew the guy. Well, actually, I knew the guy that when I spoke to the guy, I knew him. His landlord was cool, and he was my barber. You know, the guy that I'm talking about. He was my barber. So I went to him, and he was like, "Oh man, you know, I'm sorry to hear that this happened." And I was like, "Look, I got this right now." He was like, "He'll take that. He'll take that. He'll take that because it's already a week." It was like a week after January, after the New Year. It was like, actually, it was, it was like January 10th, January 10th or 11th, more than a week. Yeah, and when I brought the 450, he gave me the keys, and I was like, cool. I went back to the hotel, told my wife and my kids. I said, we out of here tomorrow. I got a place for us to stay. And we got there, and then, you know, then my wife, she was just dissatisfied with what 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 we had. You know what I mean? She wasn't satisfied. It was a basement, and we were all stuck up in one room, one big happy family. So yeah, it problems just escalated, and she got violent with me. She kicked me out. And you know what I said? You know, at the time and stuff. You know, excuse me for saying this, but I broke down. I was like, I was like crying. I was going to church and I was wailing and I was like, oh, you know, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, oh, and crying and crying and crying, and then I would go home. Oh, kill something. I just want to kill. Oh man, I just wanted to kill him, take myself out. I just wanted to take myself out. I sat down one day crying. It was snowing. It was just, I was out in the street, freezing, cold, and I was just like, oh man, I could see some blood right now. Blood would be nice and warm. I said, let me call somebody. Let me call somebody, um, and, and just before I got angry, because anger is something that we can control, believe it or not. We're taught from very young, you know, this and this and that, this and this and this and that. When we're young, we're taught this, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie. You know, when back in the early ages, you know, um, the government right now, they're actually, if you if you hit your child, right, nowadays, you know how the government, they'll step in and they'll put you away, they'll lock you up, and your children will go to, you know, um, child services, child protective services, and stuff like that. But back then, it was much different. Check this out. The government would tell the adults that their job as parents was to break the will of the child. And by breaking the will of a child, their kids wouldn't grow up to be like undisciplined and, disorderly and stuff like that, and good members of society, right? They would become good members of society. So in order to break the will of a child, you had to rear end that child, meaning you had to, when the child was very little, and if he questioned your authority or went, you didn't hesitate. You smacked the crap out of them, or you physically harmed them, or do something to that effect. But that was to break the will of the child, and that's the problem. That's the problem now. Is that people are broken. People are broken. You know what I mean? And they got so accustomed to being that way, to living that way. I mean, like the holidays is coming up now, right? Like the Christmas stuff and stuff. I mean, I like it. I mean, I enjoy it. I try to enjoy it. But it's all a lie. It's all a lie. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to my kids. I'm sorry. Nope. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it. You know why? Because if I'm gonna tell them the truth, I'm gonna tell them the truth. I ain't gonna mix the truth with a lie. I'm gonna let them know there was no Jesus born on Christmas Day. Sorry, ain't happening. The Bible paints a totally different picture than when the world says Jesus was born. Ain't happening. That's pagan. Pagan, that's what they believe in. The pagans. That's infusion of paganism and Christianity infused. Happened way back then. But anyway, cut that out. The Santa Claus thing, it's a lie. I mean, it's the joyous season. That's cool. I like that. I like that part, that aspect. Because people that need and stuff. But so many bad things happen during the holidays because you know it's a business. It's a business, and and it's the end of the year, and government and business and all these taxes and stuff like that, the IRS, everybody got to build their surplus. That's what it's all about. It's big business. So, um, yeah, like, I mean, look what happened. Look what happened to me and my family. Like, we actually gonna be eating Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow because last month we just like I literally had to swallow my pride and just um, catch a bus because where I live at, there's only one or two buses and they run at a certain time. So any place else I gotta walk to, and it's in order to get to where I gotta get to where I used to live, which was in Harrisburg. I live in Steelton now, so I gotta walk like about a good 10 miles before I get to Harrisburg. I don't know, it might be shorter. Feels like 10 miles because it's like a lot of we live in a Highland Street, and like Highland Street is like basically it's on a one of the rolling hills, and it's like you gotta go up a mountain almost. So yeah, yeah. The other night I was walking. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was walking. I was coming home actually, seeing a brown bear. Yeah. The other day I was 12 point 12 point buck just jetted down the street on the sidewalk. I was like, damn, I'm glad I was walking with my back turned on that sidewalk because that would have been kind of painful, or maybe even deadly. I don't know, but yeah, it's sometimes I think about it and I'm like, man, maybe I shouldn't be walking out here. I'm like the only person walking down the street because nobody walks out here. Everybody got a car. I'm the only one without a car. But hey, you know what? I'm gun ho, so you know, Army of One. Ready, son? All right, all right. It's enough with the jokes. Okay, okay. Let me stop. So where was I at? mm, yeah. So we're gonna be eating Thanksgiving tomorrow. I had to catch a bus and go to um, a friend of my wife's house, and I picked up a chicken. Yeah, I picked up this little chicken and stuff, and I was like, well, I'll just bring it back home and and I won't even eat it. I'll just give it to my kids and let my wife eat. Because at the time, my wife was pregnant with twins, but it's like 2 days ago, and yeah, she got really sick. She lost the twins. Yeah. Um, but you know, the Father knows. Father, their heavenly Father. They're with their heavenly Father right now, and He knows what He's doing. He knows what He's doing. So, I ain't got no authority to question that. That's sensitive stuff. You know, and yeah. So I went down there and got the chicken, and I went to labor and get a job. I was like, yeah, I can get some work. I need some work. I need some work. 20 bucks, 30 bucks. I'll take it. I'll take it. $5 an hour, $7 an hour. Give it to me. Now they ain't gonna give me no $5 an hour. They got that by law. They gotta give me 7.25, and that's what they do. Give you 7.25 an hour for whatever. You could be freaking. You could be doing construction on a scaffold. 7.25 an hour. Yo, so yeah, so I went over there. I called them, and I said, listen, you got some work for me, cause I could use some work. It was like Thanksgiving, and I could use some work. So they were like, yeah, come in. We got some work tonight. We could get you on a ticket. I was like, all right, cool. I'm over there. I'm going over there right now. So I went over there, and I was sitting down waiting. And like, oh man, we um we filled the spot up already, and but they didn't know. They was like, oh, the lady that the other girl, the one who was working the shift prior to them, they were like, oh, she didn't let us really know if the whole ticket was full or not, you know. And it was an empty spot, and she didn't say that it was filled, and we thought it was empty, so we called you and told you to come in, but it was she called and said that it was filled. She just forgot to put it in. So now I was like, oh, okay. I walked out of there and I was like, damn, what am I gonna do now? Because literally I was stuck. I wasn't walking back home. I wasn't doing none of that. I was stuck. There was no way for me to get back home. No bus running after five. After 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock is the last bus. So I went to that rooming house that I used to that my wife used to live at, and you know, one of my buddies there, his name is Mr. P. Let's call him Mr. P. No, I don't want to mention no names here. Um, his name is Mr. P. So I went to Mr. P's house and I was like, yo, man, think I could crash tonight? He was like, come on, brother, why not? You know I ain't gonna let you stay out there and stuff. It's cold out there tomorrow's Thanksgiving. I know you can't get home because the buses ain't running. So yeah, you can crash. He's like, I gotta do some things tomorrow though. I was like, don't worry about it. I'll be out of here at 6 o'clock in the morning. There's no buses running tomorrow, and I'm gonna have to get some money. I need to go to the plasma center. They open tomorrow. It was just like that. So I was like, yeah, I'm going over there. I still had the chicken and stuff like that. You know, just feeling it. My kids, they weren't able to get that little chicken on. So I went to plasma center early in the morning. But that day I was drinking some beer with my friend, and I was just like, yeah, like I came down on myself because I was just like, wow, this really, really, really sucks. But at the same token, I was trying to be real optimistic about it, and joke around about it, my Facebook posts and stuff like that. You seem a little off the wall sometimes, but it's just the way that I express myself. And now I found a new outlet, which is great. Which is great. It's absolutely great. This stuff right here is gonna make the rest of my life. It's gonna make it happen. This blog stuff, oh man, this is a new funnel for me. So just bear with me. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better as it progresses. You know. Right now I'm only trying an hour and a half. I was only gonna spend an hour on this at max, but you know what? If my mentors do it, why can't I? Excuse me, I'm looking for. I don't know how this happened, but my pens just seem to break. My wife is always complaining about that. See, that's another thing. So I went down to New York, and check this out. When I go down to New York, I'm going backwards now a little bit because I didn't get to explain what this whole thing means. And I went down to New York, right? As soon as I got there, I'm like, things are gonna be better. I'm gonna I'm gonna look for a job now. I got public transportation. I can get out there every day. Oh man, my dad, he's waiting for me. He's gonna let me rock in his pad, so I got some elbow room. I got some leeway. I got some playing room. You know what I mean? I'm like, yeah. I could stack my money, and then I'll be able to make moves. Be like, okay, I'm gonna send this to my kid. I'm gonna chill. I don't know about dealing with my wife because she's shifty. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if she's shifting this way or this. What am I gonna do? I'm like, I'll stay away from that confusion. So everything's going good. I got a job within that 1 week. Oh man, the job was paying like $50 a head. $50 a head. Okay, what can I do? I would go on the trains. And I would pass out flyers. I do a little song and dance. You know, talk to people that been in jail. They come out of jail, and I'm like, yes, come on, man. You need this right now. I've been in the same place. And couldn't get work. I'm feeling down now, and it's hard. It's hard. Being a father, being a mom, you can't get no work. You can't provide for your family. That's rough to deal with. So I got a job as a career counselor and a community activist. And that felt really really good. I felt really really good helping other people. And this is why I'm doing this now because I think that was my spot, like my calling in life. You know what I mean? I had to leave my church. I was in ministry, and I think that day that my wife kicked me out, and instead of resorting to violence, I spoke to God. I spoke to God, and God told me what to do. And that night, the very next day, I was on the first ticket, the first bus out of there. I was just gone, and my dad, he helped me out, and my dad told me, he said, well, I told him, well, they're putting me on the floor right now. Hey, it is what it is. They're they're throwing me under the bus. In other words, they're throwing me under the bus. But it is what it is. And my dad told me, he said, listen, son, you just gotta do what's best for you and prove everybody wrong because if what you did was your truth, you cannot hide the truth. The truth will penetrate because the truth is light, and it's so true. How sometimes you try to tell somebody something, and when people are so saturated with a lie, like especially like lies that government is on you, and like you tell somebody the truth, it's like when when you're in a dark room and you're sleeping, right? And somebody comes in your room and they turn on the light. And what's your first reaction while you sleep? You go like this. You don't want to see. You don't want to see that light. You know, you don't want to see that again. So that's what the truth is. When you tell somebody the truth, they've been living in darkness for so long that that light actually hurts. It hurts and it bothers. You know, and they don't want to accept it right now. They'll get cranky about it, and they'll send you they'll send you where the sun don't shine. You know what I'm saying? Literally. So so yeah, that's what it is. You know. Um, he was like, you know, it's your truth, and you know, you prove everybody wrong because you're being honest about everything. So I was like, yeah, Pop, you know, what I need is peace of mind, and I need to be around. I need to be away from the negativity, the negative people, you know, because I'm gonna go somewhere. I feel it. I feel it. I feel it. I bought this book the next day. Oh my God, this book was like this book saved like this was like the law of attraction right here. Like this book right here. Let me tell you, you know, I left New York, right? I left New York to come back over here to help her and my kids. You know, and it was supposed to be a 2-day thing. But look, I wound up staying for. I left everything behind in New York. I left everything. My clothes. Like I only came here with like two pairs of clothes and stuff. I left my shoes. I left everything behind. I mean, oh, I left so much valuable stuff. I left phones. I left computer gadgets, everything. The only thing that I brought was this book. I brought my laptop and clothes for 2 days, and I left suits like galore. Like I had like I had probably like I wear a size 15, so my shoes alone cost like the cheapest I would find them would be like about $100 a piece. You know, because big sizes you gotta go to special stores. You know that'll have your size. Size 15 is hard to come by. I had shoes, you know, yeah, um, I had a lot of things, a lot of things, a lot of things, a lot of things. I don't even want to begin to talk about some of those. I've even lost my diplomas. Oh my God. I lost my whole military history. I lost my DD-214s. I lost my AIT diploma. I lost everything. I lost everything, but I don't care. I still have me, so I really didn't lose nothing. I still have my family, so I didn't. I just lost material things, you know, that can be replaced. That can be replaced anytime, anytime. And you know what? It did. It really did. Didn't didn't bother me. You know, um, I'm here. You know, and when it started to kind of affect me a bit, a little bit. You know, because let's face it, yeah, I was into this law of attraction thing and everything, but after a while, man, I started saying, well, maybe I'm an exception and this thing is not gonna work for me. I'm doing something wrong. And the fact is that what it was just a series of steps, you know, in the direction that I was going, and I feel like it had to happen, you know, it had to happen because it brought me here, it brought me right here, right now to this place, day one, and that's another thing. That's why, you know, a lot of you know me by my government name. But you know, today, Doug Dynasty is born. Is born. You know why? Because I'm spiritual, right? And when you're a spiritual person, as a spiritual being, I just I just discovered this today. You have to learn how to die daily. That doesn't mean in the physical sense. You know, I've heard this before, but I never understood it till today. And this is I'm gonna give you my analogy right now, my definition of it. Okay. When they say you have to die daily, right? You know why? Because you're a spiritual being, right? You're a spirit. But within this, just let's just take the word spiritual, right? Um, it's SPI, right? Spit, right? Something that I guess comes a passing, and then ritual. Okay. Now, a ritual is a harmonic series of events that take place at a certain location within a certain time period in a certain time dimension, right? So we are spiritual beings. So in order to die daily, what happens is that a lot of times people get a certain spirit in them. And let's say like the spirit is like a lint brush and it attracts a lot of lint, right? And now you get all these stains and stuff, you know. It's making even more sense as I'm saying it right now. Check this out, right? Right. I feel the opening of the universe just coming through me, right? Right. Check this out. So the spirit, it's like a magnet to attract all this stuff, but we don't learn how to kill it. So we stay with this spirit day in, day out, day in, day out. Before you know it, the spirit is just saturated. It's black. It's dirty. It's like it becomes your soul. In your soul, we all know the soul in theology school, right? When I was in theology school, it's full of caca, and they said it just like that. It's full of caca, and caca, we all know what caca is. The soul's full of it, and the spirit gets saturated with that caca. So when they say you gotta learn how to die daily, you gotta take on a new spirit. You have to manifest yourself from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. And when you go to bed, you gotta kill that spirit because you're spiritual, and it's a ritual, and it goes from point A to point B. Kill that spirit, die, and revive the next day. So, I just want to leave you with that note, and um, God bless, and I'll take this again at another time, another day. But I'm gonna leave you this, and it's time for me to go. I'm messing it up. I don't want to mess it up. I'm getting better. I'm getting better. Right? It's my first video. Duck Dynasty. I'll see you again on my next blog. All right, bye bye.